I've done it again, haven't I? I've got more bloody lawnmowers. Now, I saw these on the Facebook Marketplace and it came as a job lot, so I thought it'd make a nice little YouTube video. Will it run? Can we get these engines running? I mean, they're very old lawnmowers and they're in poor condition. The main reason I got this job lot though was because it came with this Rotavator. Now let me show you this beast. It's an MTD T205 Rotavator. Pretty heavy duty machine, it's quite big. Apart from being a little bit dirty, this engine actually appears to be in fairly good condition. There's a little bit of corrosion around this metal plate, but that's expected, just where the powder coating started to peel. Let's see if it's got any oil in it. Yep, it's got oil in it, and it looks to be very clean actually. I'd say this hasn't had much usage. I'm going to begin by checking to see if we've got an ignition problem with this Rotavator. So if I take the air filter off, I'm going to spray directly into the carb with a bit of brake cleaner. You can also use carb cleaner or easy start. Just put a bit of that in there. And now I'm just going to pull the engine over to see if it will start. It won't last long obviously because I've only put a squirt in there. She's going to start. So it could be a blocked up carburetor or it could just be working. Let's put a drop of petrol in and see if it fires up. It's worth noting that the fuel tank was bone dry when I got it. It does look a little bit dirty in this tank, so it might need to be stripped down and the carb clean. Let's put a drop in there anyway. It starts. Crazy. We put this lever in the fully on position, stops down here, that cuts the engine out, and then we just pull. The engine's a little bit smoky where it had been laying on its side in my car from when I picked it up. Some of the oil was leaked into the exhaust pipe, and as it heats up it just burns off that excess oil, and that's what the smoke is. But it doesn't take long to clear up. Oh, you're ruining the garden! Yep, I know, I've got to dig out this section of the garden to put a patio there. So if you're interested, stay tuned and I'll be recording the process of doing the patio as well. To stay up to date with the channel, all you have to do is subscribe, it's completely free. And if you click that little alarm bell and set notifications to all, you'll get updates when I post new videos. And while you're at it, if you could like this video, that would be much appreciated. It's burnt all the oil off now, so it's running lovely. I'm really pleased with that. Okay, that's 1 out of 4 running. Let's have a look at another one. I'm going to save this one because it's very old. I think this is probably the next best one that we've got. It's just a very simple lawnmower, this one. An engine with a blade on the deck, that's it. It's got no fancy features. It doesn't even have a grass box. I'm just going to take the air filter off. Spray directly in the engine. And let's give it a pull to see if it will start. Ooh, no, that don't feel good. The engine was slightly seized when I just tried it a moment ago, but it seems to be freeing up now. So we've determined that the compression and the ignition is good because we've managed to get it running. However, the fuel system is very dirty. If we have a look in here, it's like syrup. Let's move on to the next one. It's a self-propelled model, so it's a bit better than the other one. Let's take the filter housing off. it's not seized up. Let's try a bit of brake cleaner in there. That engine will run as well. The carburetors are identical on these lawnmowers. They're Briggs & Stratton Classic carbs, and they're really easy to work on. So I'll take this one off, show you how to service it, and then we'll put it back on and see how it runs. And it'll be exactly the same for the other lawnmower. It's just 2 bolts which holds the tank onto the engine. So we remove those, pull the tank away from the engine, and then unhook the little governor arm linkage from the top of the carb. Let me show you just how bad this fuel is in here. Now this looks more like oil to me, and I think what's happened is where the lawnmower has been stored on its side, oil has leaked through the crankcase breather pipe and into the fuel tank. Let's just get the worst off of this carb from the outside. So a bit of WD-40 on there. And a toothbrush just to scrape off the worst of it. Take off that rubber boot. And now I'm going to unscrew the carburetor from the tank, and it's just 5 Phillips screws. Yeah, there's a lot of sediment in the bottom of this bowl. That's no good. I'm going to go and take this to the sink and thoroughly clean it out. I've just given this tank a good rinse out with boiling hot water. So let's just pour a little bit of petrol in there. I'm going to take the carb off of this one as well and give it a clean while I'm at it. Seeing as I'm getting the ultrasonic cleaner up and running, I may as well cut this carb in too. It's filled up with the carburetor parts. Just fill it up. In order to clean the main jet on this type of carburetor, we take off the sediment screen here, and then we need to pop out this part, and that's the emulsion tube and main jet. So just get a little screwdriver in here and pop it out. And now we need to clean all of these holes in this tube and make sure that the main jet is nice and clear there. I'm going to use a sewing needle for that. So just poke this through, make sure all the holes are clear. So once you're happy that it's all thoroughly clean, we can put that back in. And if you find that it doesn't go back, what you have to do is get your needle in there and just realign the hole at the bottom. It's got a piece in there that slides across, and if it's not aligned, you won't be able to put the main jet in. There we go, it's aligned now. So we can just pop that in. There are different variations of these tubes. As you can see, this one's off of the other carburetor. It's white in colour and it's got 5 holes in it, whereas the black one's got 4 holes in it. So just bear that in mind, but it's the same process for cleaning them. When servicing this type of Briggs & Stratton carb, it's always worth replacing the gasket and diaphragm, because over time they become deformed and then the engine will run all lumpy and horrible. If you get surging conditions with one of these classic engines, it's more than likely because the diaphragms failed like this. So I've got myself a few sets here off of Amazon, and I'll put a link to them in the description if you need to get some. And if we look at the old one, you'll see there it's all deformed where the springs stretch this diaphragm material. So we're going to put this new one on, and I'll show you how to do that now. When you're happy that it's thoroughly clean and this surface is nice and smooth, we're going to get our new diaphragm, and that's going to go on there. And then we get the gasket, and that goes over the top there, like that. And then we can get our carb body. Put the pickup tube through there, and the filter screen will go in this hole. Make sure the spring's on there. Spring there. Pushes on the diaphragm material. And then we just put our screws back in. It's as easy as that. And then we're going to tighten this down in a crisscross pattern. Just nipping it up. You don't have to go mad. Just so that the carb body seals to the tank. And now that's ready to go back on the mower. Before I bolt the carb back on, I'm just going to give this a clean. Just check the oil level, and it's very, very low. There's only a little drop in there.
Oh, you should have checked the oil level before you started the engine.
Yep, I should have, but I didn't, did I? Yeah, we need a drop more. It's probably just leaking out the bottom, my luck. Let's put a drop of fuel in the tank, in our nice clean tank. 1, 2, 3. That's working nicely. This little plastic tab was stuck there, so these linkages work a bit nicer now. Let's try again. A few primes. It is completely spitting out oil. So let's try and get that out. Don't go towards the light. Don't do it. Go on then. I take the poorly lawnmower outside to burn off any of the excess oil. It's coughing and spluttering and smoking like a good one. So we'll see how they all run later on in the video. That's if we can get them all running, because we've still got more work to do. Let's move on to the next one. I didn't realise, but this lawnmower doesn't actually have any oil in it either. So I definitely shouldn't have run it. This rubber O-ring and the plastic retainer go inside the carb first. So I put that rubber O-ring in, and then this plastic retainer goes in there. And now we can push the carb on. Now typically I wouldn't even bother trying to save a lawnmower like this. It's cheaply made and not very good quality anyway. The engine's decent, but the deck and everything else is, yeah, not very good quality. A hater, a Honda, definitely worth saving, but something like this, no, probably not. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to put some oil in this and try and get it going anyway. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have this Hater Hunter 46. It's a classic Briggs & Stratton engine there, Quantum 35. And this is a first for me. I've never worked on one of these engines, so let's see if we can get it going. The first issue is quite obvious, the starter recoil doesn't work. As it was such a lovely day, I thought I'd work outside in the garden, and that's why I'm doing a voiceover, because it was a little bit windy and you can hear some of that wind noise in the video. But here you can see I'm just removing the top cover to get access to the starter recoil mechanism. Now I haven't actually seen a starter recoil mechanism like this before, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. And don't forget the last screw in here which holds the fuel tank on. Now I doubt that there's many of these lawnmowers left out there, so I'd be interested to know if you've got one of these mowers or you've worked on one. Please let us know in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. And here you can see my veiny head trying to work out how this mechanism works. It doesn't work like the conventional starter recoil we know today with the spring on the top. It's actually got a little centrifugal cog which flings out as you pull it, and then that locks into the flywheel, which then rotates the flywheel to turn the engine over. Now I've got a feeling that the mechanism may just be a little bit worn inside, or it's got a weak spring and that's why it's not forcing the cog out. I'm hoping with a little bit of use this mechanism will start working a bit better. I do manage to get the engine to engage though, and it's just a case of having to push that cog in every now and then. The fuel in this lawnmower was in very poor condition, so I'm going to service a carburetor while we're at it. I begin dismantling the air filter housing, and it's bolted to the carburetor with these 3 bolts here. I then remove the 2 bolts holding the carb to the engine, and we can unhook it from the governor arm linkage. Now it's ready for a good clean, so I begin as always by cleaning the outside of the carburetor, and that way hopefully we don't transfer any dirt to the inside of the carb. Yeah, I've just got some rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol. We remove the 13mm bolt holding the bowl onto the bottom of the carb, and then we can remove the bowl. It's not in bad condition considering the age of this mower. We just need to give it a thorough clean and make sure all of the holes are nice and clear. So I take the pin out and remove the float and needle valve assembly. This is a float and this is a needle valve. You can check the tip and it should be nice and clean. I'm going to be using the ultrasonic cleaner again as it's an absolute time saver. It means I can get on with other jobs while this is working away, and it does a great job. Just look at it removing the dirt. I'll put a link to one of these in the description if you want to get one. Alternatively, you can get a carburetor cleaner spray and manually spray each individual port to make sure it's nice and clear. Some compressed air is also good for cleaning out the little holes. Now I'm going to get my trusty sewing needle and just poke through all of these little holes just to make sure they're all clear. Just be a little bit careful not to scratch the brass. We just get our needle valve, put that into the float, drop that in there, put the pin through, before putting the float bowl on I check to make sure the little needle valve's working, which it is. So we can put the bowl back on. While the carburetor is off, I give this area of the lawnmower a good clean up with some WD-40 and a clean cloth. Right, hopefully you can hear me because it's very windy out here. It's the moment of truth. Last engine of the bundle. Will it run? I'm going to choke it. Just make sure I've got the fuel tap open. Anything? Hey. Oh dear. I might have to turn it off because it's going to make all the washing stink of smoke. Now that mower runs sweet as a nut. I treat the old engine to a brand new air filter and then refit all the plastic casing. Right, I've got the washing in now so we can test it out. Try and burn off some of that oil. Let's finish this video by making a little bit of noise. I'm going to go through each of these engines and start them one by one. So let's start off with this Briggs & Stratton 450. I mean, if you listen, it still sounds a little bit ropey. You can hear the engine hunting a little bit. Perhaps it's got an air leak. We know the carburetor is spotless and it's got a new diaphragm, so it says to me that potentially we've got an air leak somewhere. But it's running, so that's good, and it cuts grass. Let's go with our Hater. This is a Hater Hunter 46. Old school engine. No trouble there. That one's a lovely engine. I'm really pleased with that mower and it cuts absolutely great. I think I'm going to keep that one. Now we have our Rotavator. I've got no doubt that this one will start straight away. Look at that, no effort at all. And then lastly, but not least, we have another Briggs & Stratton Classic engine. Let's give it a little prime. Oh, there we go. Fires straight up. 4 out of 4.
It's unnecessary running 4 engines. You're gonna kill the polar bears.
If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it useful. If you have, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you click the alarm bell, you'll get notifications when I post new videos. And I'm aiming to post a video every couple of weeks or so, depends on my work and home life, and balancing it with making YouTube videos. It can get quite busy. So again, thank you ever so much to everybody that supported the channel up until this point. It hasn't gone unnoticed and I really appreciate everybody that's left me a like, comment, subscribed. It really helps my channel to grow. So thank you so much, you know who you are, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. Cheers guys, take care.